I'm so excited today. I have the honor of having Krista Rizzo with me, and Krista is an empowerment mentor and a certified grief educator. I know you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
But he's going to tell you all about that. And Krista, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we get to talk about this topic. Tell us what you do.
Hi, Sherry. Thank you for having me. In a nutshell, I teach people how to navigate grief in their own terms on their own timeline. And, it's an important topic to discuss. Lots of different feels pop up when you talk about grief. And I like to talk about it in a way that is a little bit more universal than just marrying it with death, because we grieve for a lot of different reasons. And so, just through grief education and being a certified life coach and, having a lot of different things happen in my own personal life, I've gone kind of in the direction where I felt a need for a conversation to be having that is hard, but also necessary.
Awesome. And I know you have a very specific goal to impact 1 million lives and help 1 million people navigate I guess you want to say the course of grief.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, it does look different, feels different for every single person. What does it look like? I know you have a specific program. What does it look like if somebody's wondering, is that for me? What would it look for them and look like for them? How would they go about finding out if it was a good fit for them?
Sure. So I got my grief certification, my grief education certification, mid last year, summer of 2023. And on that journey that I was going on was for my own benefit and for the benefit of my clients. And so I decided that I wanted to write a book about it. And I didn't want it to be a heavy, sad kind of book. I wanted it to be a little bit lighter and a little bit more relatable to people. And I wanted it to be a little bit more universal. So in the book, it's called You Can't Tell Me How to Feel. And that was inspired by my now 18-year-old. When he was 3, he told me those words and they kind of stuck with me for a really long time, my entire life. And so I've kind of had that mantra in my head when I do things and when I coach my clients and when I speak at events. And so the thought process behind You Can't Tell Me How to Feel is allowing each individual experience that you have that comes with a loss. So it could be a loss of a job, of a relationship, of a pet, of a person, of even maybe a disconnection from yourself. You feel like you're stuck in a place and you're kind of, grieving a life that you thought you were going to have, and it has kind of shifted potentially. And so thinking about that and how I wanted to engage in that conversation was by making sure that everybody knows that each experience that you have is individual and it deserves its own grieving process. And how you do that is you acknowledge, validate, and act. And so you acknowledge that you were in this situation, that this has happened to me or is happening to me, and I need to just accept that this is my station at this point. And then you validate the feelings around that action or that experience. You can, and your feelings can run the gamut, right? You can be sad and happy all at the same time. And grief brings, guilt and anger and all the other things that pop up with it. But once you acknowledge and then validate, you now have the tools to act, right? You can act on what you want to do about it, right? Do you want to, create a different life path for yourself? Do you want to engage in different kinds of relationships? Do you want to, become better at taking care of yourself? And I'm a big proponent of self-care. I think it's one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself. But that's kind of the arc of the program. There are different ways that you can work with me, but I have a membership program where you get access to a book and a journal and a digital course, and then access to a private Facebook community where I do group coaching once a week. And it allows people who might be feeling uncomfortable with grief, because it's an uncomfortable topic, to open up and really expand their thoughts on it and really expand their understanding on it and just get more educated about it.
I just love that. And I love that you are offering, Krista, several kind of access points so that people can figure out what way works for the place they are in their journey, understanding that every single person is different and needs a different level of support and is going to navigate that journey differently. I just really love the work that you're doing in this space. And I think it's one we don't talk about because it is uncomfortable, right? We don't, sometimes we don't call the person that has lost somebody because we don't know what to say, because we're uncomfortable.
Yep.
And, even just those kinds of things, the other person that's lost has their own host of things as well. And I think the support that is inside this program is just so incredibly needed. And I just really love the work you're doing. So I know that you also have something that you are willing to gift our viewers. Can you talk about that in your website?
Sure. So if you head over to youcan'ttellmehowtofeel.com, there's a free download, and it's just 5 ways that you can, navigate grief. And there's 5 ways that you can help your loved ones navigate through it. If there's, somebody who's going through it, there's great tips and tools. And there's another 5 tips on how you can navigate through your own personal experience. So,
that's awesome. What a helpful tool. And I am sure that there is a place on there to connect with you if someone wants to have a conversation with you to find out what the best fit for what you offer, because I know you do one-on-one as well, right? So, and for some people that might be really what they want more than the membership, but I mean, there's other things. And I do not want to let the opportunity go by, because I know that you are building your extended professional relationship with other people in the I don't know if you want to call it the industry, the space that specializes in grief recovery, and all the other things. Can you just speak real quickly to that? Who would be a helpful collaborative partner for you in that?
Oh, that's a great question. So I love to collaborate with people in the, like you said, space, right? The death space, or the bereavement space, or the recovery space. So, partnering with wellness centers, substance abuse recovery centers, hospice centers, funeral homes, even estate planning lawyers, really anybody, right? And we do 2 different types of memberships. There's an individual membership that you can buy for yourself or for somebody else, gift it to somebody else as just an individual annual membership, and you are, in the club and you get access to all the tools. Or as a corporation or a business that, like, say you're a funeral home and you want to offer grief support services to your clients. This is an opportunity for you to join the membership, but then we give you access to gift that membership to your clients. So it's a way for you to, show your clients that you're not there just to provide this one service and then like leave them high and dry, which I know that's not the goal for anybody, but to try to, continue them on that journey for their healing benefit. And, that's just a different way to be able to handle that. And so there's 2 different ways that, we can do that.
And I really, really am so impressed with that whole thought process, because, as you're burying a loved one, that's only one piece of that process, right? And I think it's really amazing that you would be considering involving, the person that helps you get closure on that part, being able to extend that service and really partner with that person, so they don't, it's because that's sort of like such a finality. But with that coaching and with that program, it would seem to me that it would maybe smooth out that rough edge of that finality, right? Of having that in place to support on the backside of that. So I really appreciate that you're doing that. And so if anyone watching is in that space or knows someone in that space, I highly recommend that you get connected with Krista and, get collaborating with her, because this is such a beautiful service that she's offering. And before we close out, Krista, is there anything besides, wow, this is amazing, or wow, I didn't even know this was a thing? Because that is probably true as well. A lot of people don't even know it's a thing, but there is support. Is there something that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Well, I think, grief is as we said, a difficult subject, right? And it's not something that we are comfortable kind of talking about. So I think the more comfortable we get with it, the easier it is to have these conversations. And so I just say, keep your mind open and your heart open, and, don't put so much pressure on yourself to get better or to be healed. Grief is something that we don't get over. It just becomes part of us as we continue on in our own journey. And so allow that to be part of your experience, because it's what makes you who you are, right? It adds to your uniqueness and your specialness. And so don't sweep it under the rug. Don't avoid it. And I know trust me, I'm an avoider. I like to distract myself with shiny, sparkly objects. But if you allow yourself, that experience to become part of you, you're now taking that and helping other people. And I don't know that people actually really realize that they're doing that. Like, they're taking that experience and they're educating others, or they're, supporting others just based on the experience that they have had. So that would be my guidance.
I love that. And you know what? I'm certain that everybody can see, wow, I was like, I need to talk to you about this on camera, because it's such an incredibly important topic. It's so needed, and we need to learn to embrace death, if you will, and grief and all that whole process as part of our natural part of our life, right?
Yeah.
It's not something to be hidden away or hope it never happens. It is a part of us. And why not equip ourselves with the proper tools, as we would if we were going to tackle any other project or thing in our life? We would seek out the right people and the right tools to do that. This is no different than that. Krista Rizzo, I want to say I am so proud that I have had the opportunity to get to know you, and I'm so grateful for what you're doing. And I am ecstatic that your goal is that 1 million people, navigating them on You Can't Tell Me How to Feel, and helping them feel whatever they feel. And it's amazing. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here today, Krista.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.